With the increased travel chaos across the world, everyone is baffled with the reasons behind the flight cancellations, delays, and chaos. The staff shortage, COVID pandemic, inflation and gas prices, weather and climate, what causes the travel chaos, and how much of it is deliberate. Hello, fellow shrewd investors. Welcome to another video in your channel. I released a detailed video last week on the reasons leading to current travel chaos. Here I prepared a shortened version for those who have not time to watch the long version. I also added some new information. It started mid-May and since then it got worse and more widespread. Many travelers were left stranded at the airports after thousands of flights were cancelled or delayed. The United States and the United Kingdom are particularly affected. The question is what the reasons behind this widespread chaos are. COVID pandemic and the staff shortage? Shortage of staff and especially pilots are presented as the main culprit for the travel chaos in almost every report you see, hear or read. Across the world, many airlines encouraged or in some cases coerced senior pilots, flight attendants and other employees to take buyouts or early retirements. Those fired employees who were let down during the difficult times now learned or took other jobs and they are not willing to let their current jobs to come back to unsafe, often labor-intensive air travel jobs that are often not so attractive financially either. The less discussed part of the story is that many more highly skilled pilots and employees were fired by taking the COVID vaccination mandate to an extreme, not accepting other forms of immunity, and using health standards based on biased evidence as excuse. It is no surprise that there would be a shortage of those skilled employees when the demand comes back. It is up to you to see this as a form of mismanagement or something else. Strikes. As I said, many airlines fired a sizable number of their pilots, attendants and other employees, but they also cut the salary of remaining employees. Security staff, baggage handlers and airline cabin crew are striking due to poor pay or poor working conditions. Poor working conditions are widely heard complaint of employees of particularly low-cost budget airlines such as EasyJet and Ryanair. Inflation and gas prices? The inflation in gas price is more than 100%, affecting travel by car and air alike. According to Scott Kirby, the CEO of United Airlines, rising fuel prices are killing the industry and is accounting for 100% of what is driving inflation in airline business. The fact is that fuel is limited and there are only a handful of countries producing oil. And we are limiting the supply by taking out oil from several of those countries using sanctions, the latest of which being sanctions on Russian oil. Regardless of who is correct in the conflicts, our politicians know very well that the sanctions usually hit the ordinary people and not the politicians in the targeted countries. And finally, they hit the ordinary people in the consumer countries as well. The solution seems straightforward. Too many planes on the sky? According to Euronews, Europe's air traffic agency warned that the number of flights in the coming months is likely to exceed the capacity of control centers. But based on Eurocontrol's own website, the truth is that we have not reached pre-COVID numbers. If those flying planes could be managed in 2019, they should be managed in 2022 as well. Finally, some people blamed weather conditions for travel chaos that is lasting so long. This is so ludicrous that let's just keep discussing it. Now let's discuss the big picture. The question is there a coordinated effort to make people unhappy, which eventually ends in chaos and destabilization? While in the past also it happened that once a while there were a reasonable degree of disruptions in operations, we have not seen the magnitude of disruptions we are witnessing now. Why so much unpreparedness? They sell their tickets well in advance and consequently they know much well in advance what aircraft fleet size and the staff capacity is required to handle this level of demand. Why were there so much obsession with COVID pandemic and appetite to fire the pilots and other employees who didn't agree with the mainstream narrative? With all the chaos and price increases, the message that is conveyed to an average citizen like you and me is that if you are not an elite, why do you want to travel? Stay at home and watch your Netflix, television or YouTube, or better enter in metaverse, and you can virtually travel wherever you want. They travel around the world with their private jets and tell you and me to be a responsible citizen by not flying and having CO2 footprint, since our climate is changing. Let's see the patterns and deduce possibilities. Strangely, everything fits to the plan. Major players wielding substantial influence on and acting at different areas of our life are pushing to the same converging direction. Sometimes we need to zoom out and see a bigger picture. Let's claim our rights to freedom of movement. Even if you are not a fan of travel, there are necessary needs for travel for family visit or medical reasons. It is not only for leisure. Leisure itself is a fundamental human right according to United Nations Human Rights Charter. You have the right to travel and you should protect it even if you don't want to use it. Let's not allow that virtual travel is imposed on us as a replacement for our real travels and vacations. Let's prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Don't forget to like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, to subscribe and turn on the notifications button. Stay happy and wealthy until the next time.